Giving all praise unto Abashim Ashabashim Kwahakodash, the bonus unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and the ownership of us to be pushing his truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And about our body are coming out here to give it his truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim Kwahakodash, giving all praise unto Abashim Ashabashim Kwahakodash. Okay, so this is going to be a relatively quick video based upon the current state of affairs in terms of finance out here within the UK. And pretty much what we're seeing is a situation where they're getting ready to, basically crash out the economy out here within Britain, and we're gonna see what the catalyst is gonna be. We know there's gonna come a situation out here within the world where pretty much these currencies that you see out here throughout the four corners of the earth are gonna have to be converted into the digital currency, and we know that from scriptures pursuant to the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse. We see out there within Babylon, which is America, we see a situation where pretty much the interest rates is at all-time high, and it's like a known joke that they just push that on to the next generation. Okay, so that's like a known thing amongst Esau. They just push it onto the next generation, and it don't really matter that there are a couple trillion in debt, and they owe it to somebody. And the same thing similar type of thing we see out here within the UK, where we see a situation whereby not only is there debt, okay, the appetite, or the environment rather more, for entrepreneurship has basically been eradicated. And it's my belief that's on purpose. It's my belief that these economies is this economic outlook that we have out here within the UK has been deliberately designed to be failing right now. And we understand that because the CHIP is going to be implemented. And pretty much like I've been saying, I've been hearing on the news what these people that are affluent are doing. They're wanting to leave UK. Okay, anybody that's got money, it's worth a couple mil, that's worth a good chunk of change, is pretty much setting to leave the UK and move to another country that's tax friendly or business friendly. And that's a sign of the times, really. Okay, that's a sign of the times. Pretty much, if the merchants are leaving, because the modern day merchants is these people that you call entrepreneurs and business people, right? If the merchants and if the so-called business people and these entrepreneurs are leaving, then pretty much your economy is through. Okay, it's done. And that's what we find ourselves, or the situation that we see out here within the UK, right? In terms of business. Okay, in terms of business. So it's pretty much done, right? The scripture talks about how that there wasn't going to be any work, neither for the head, for the tail. Now let's take a look at that particular statement and assess and extrapolate. What did we see with the 2019 thing? Right, movement was restricted. Mom and papa stores was basically eradicated, and big giants like Amazon was able to take over. Okay, laws was implemented to pretty much make it more difficult to start up businesses, whether it was during the 2019 thing or prior or after. Laws definitely out here within the UK, right? It's very difficult out here within the UK to start up a business. They've set it up to where it's very difficult to set up an enterprise and be successful at that particular enterprise. It's very, very difficult in the UK. So they set that situation up, okay? What else do we need to be looking at? We need to be thinking about and looking at the infrastructure around the MLTB, right? So you got a whole bunch of businesses, that people that got money, people that got resources. It's going to be very difficult to so-called justify the CHIP. But when you start eradicating the middle class by closing down the mom and pop stores, right? When you close down shut down the middle class, right, by way of increase in business rates, which pretty much is looking like they're going to increase the business rates, right, going further. All right, going further, it looks like pretty much they're going to increase the business rates. Another thing that's looking very trippy out here within the UK, which this is going to impact a whole bunch of people, right? Here it is, you got the so-called cost of living crisis, predominantly being driven by high interest rates. A lot of people got mortgages on 0% or close to 0% interest rate. And now what they're finding out is these interest rates are going up, and their house that they bought when things was good, pretty much they can't afford that particular house, right? They can't afford that particular house. But that has a larger impact on even renters, because some people think it's better to rent. Yeah, it's better to rent if you're renting, right? But you're renting from the council or something like that. But really, from a financial standpoint, it's worse to rent from a private landlord, because when you have a private landlord, pretty much, whatever happens to the market, he's just bleeding that down to you. So in a way, if you're in a position where you can buy a house, you're probably better off buying a house, right? Obviously, you're more exposed and you have less flexibility. And obviously, if things go bust, you're gonna be more exposed. But the reality of the situation is that a lot of people now are getting evicted. Right, there's a lot of people that, mothers and children. I think I did a video a couple of years back that basically are being made homeless because the landlord said, "Look, man, I ain't making no money off of this. Right, I ain't making any money off of this. Get out the house." And what's going to be the solution? Right, all of these problems that I've listed. I'm rambling or whatever, but all of these problems that I've listed, what's going to be the solution? Right, if you got a situation worldwide, let's say you got a situation worldwide where, number one, interest rates are high, right? Business rates are high. So businesses are going to go bust. One, two, trading and margins are going to be tougher, right? So it's going to be harder to make a profit. Okay. So a lot of businesses are going to employ less staff. One, and two, they're going to make less money, right? And I've seen this with my own eyes within the particular industry that I'm in, where budgets are getting tighter, disposable income is becoming less and less, right? So you got to lay off staff. I've seen this, firsthand, right? A whole bunch of people getting laid off. Everybody wailing and everybody's trying to beg for their jobs and say, look, this is the reason why I got to stay in a particular job, right? But the reality of the situation is the grinding is ceasing. That's what people are not realizing. Whether you're dealing with corporate, corporate tax, right? That's the grinding season. A lot of Edomites, they was able to get up on level and start up enterprises and use their parents' inheritances. Like a parent had a house, and they sold the house they sold the house, but you got the house transferred to the children, and they was able to use that as collateral or whatever. A lot of these Edomites came up on the level because they was able to do that, right? You can't do that anymore because capital gains tax is going up, inheritance tax is going up. So you ain't coming up on a level like you was coming up on a level a long time ago, right? That's another thing that's going to impact the grinding season, because you're going to have less disposable income within the market. That means you're spending less. Therefore, the person that was going to collect your money is going to have less money for them to spend. See, it goes in a cycle, right? What else did I mention? Okay. I can't remember some of the other things I've mentioned. Oh, all of these budgets that are coming up out here, right? Higher taxes and so on and so forth, and a lack of entrepreneurial budget, so to speak, right? This is all leading up to the CHIP, to where pretty much, if you had a so-called good paying job outside of what's known as the regulated market. So the regulated market is, NHS, all right? Anything that the government, the so-called good government jobs, right? The so-called good government jobs. If you're out here outside of a so-called good government job, pretty much you're exposed, right? Pretty much you're exposed, because any time they could bring out a law, they could bring out a tax to eradicate any profit that you could have made off of that. This is what we're getting into. So don't be surprised, as we get closer to the end of this year, don't be surprised, if you start seeing markets crash, right? Because the confidence within the particular market, that's pretty much what these so-called investors go off. Now we know it's all manipulated, but the so-called confidence in the market, which things ain't looking so confident, whether you're looking at it from America, which is Babylon, or the UK, right? Things ain't looking too promising. So don't be surprised if you see a crash sometime soon. That might be the title of the video. Don't be surprised if you see a crash soon. I know they thinly escaped a so-called recession situation, right? But the reality of the situation is this is what's coming down the pipeline. It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good, man. Right? So don't be surprised if you start seeing crashes, whether it be out there within Babylon, America, whether it's out here within the UK. Don't be surprised if you start seeing market crashes, man. Don't be surprised at all, because all the makings for those market crashes are here. We can see them. So that's pretty much the video. With that, I'm going to say, I'll praise Dante Abashim Ashai Bachim Kwa Akorash, the bonus under the apostles of great millstone. Honestly, brothers, will be pushing this truth in sincerity. It's a bit of a ramble, but hopefully, some of the points I was trying to make have been edifying. With that, I'm going to say, I'll praise Dante Abashim Ashai Bachim Kwa Akorash, the bonus under the apostles of great millstone. Honestly, brothers, will be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.